again, welcome back to more F-117A Nighthawk Stealth Fighter 2. The eagle-eyed among you will notice that I've had to start a new pilot. Basically, I just did a mission just a minute ago, and we ended up. I'd selected air-to-air mission, and the air target just would not show up for ages. Eventually, I managed to find it. Waited around for such a long time, but essentially, I ran so low on fuel that I was coming back to the aircraft carrier, and I thought I'd got back to the aircraft carrier in the nick of time. I had barely any fuel left, but I came into land and I messed up the landing and decided that at that point I was just going to have to eject the aircraft. And the button controls to eject is Shift F10. But the problem with my keyboard is that F10 is also got sort of multi-functionality. It's one of the sort of hotkeys. I've got hotkeys, and so like F1 would be mute, F2 is like minus lower volume, and such. So when I pressed Shift F10, it did the functionality of the hotkey button and not ejecting, and essentially the plane just crashed into the sea, and another one bites the dust. So what I've learned from that a little bit is that air-to-air missions, you end up waiting around such a long time for the target. So I'm just going to stick to strike missions for now. But what I still want to do is try and land successfully at the aircraft carrier. So we'll do that. So we'll start up on new character, easy landings, regular opponents in the Microprose F-117. Okay, make sure we're flying out from Cuba. This time I will do strike mission. Yeah, I did take out the air target, but it was so far from where I expected it to be, and just took such a long time to get to the target. It was just ridiculous. Right, destroy headquarters. That's an interesting one. So I have to see what's going to be the best for that. Mission brief. Our ground troops are launching a new offensive. Washington hopes a well-timed raid on enemy headquarters complex will cripple the enemy command and control. They're suggesting phase, slicks, clusters, and sidewinders. So for headquarters, I'll go for something effective against buildings. I think that's right. Superb against buildings. It's laser guided, so I'm going to go for that. And we'll just take a bunch of Mavericks. We'll take out some missile boats and SAM sites as well.
Cleared for takeoff.
Alright, Alt V to change the sounds to sound 1. Shift plus to go full thrust. 0. When you get up enough speed, pull down on the D-pad to go up, and then bring the gears in with 6 to bring the landing gear back up. So the last flight I had was very frustrating in that I had enough fuel and I just messed up the landing coming in. I don't really know what happened, but it was all a bit rushed because I had literally no fuel left. Right, it needs us to destroy enemy headquarters before 6:40. We'll just head straight for it. And we'll use the fuel air explosive Fey to take that out. So it's 6:02 now. We should be getting there at 6:09. So we've got plenty of time against our objective before 6:40. We want to be landing back at USS America by 6:40. Switch to tactical map with F3. Zoom out with X. So if we, for some reason, missile boats don't pop up on the map the same as SAM sites do. They don't often pop up as dots on the map. I believe there is an autopilot, which is 7. Let's try that out. I'm going to press 7, autopilot. So that's not me controlling it now, it's doing it itself. So that's going to head directly for the first waypoint, which suits me fine. So we'll do that. And then if we spot any missile boats or anything like that on the way, we might sort of deviate a course to sort of go towards those. Some sort of boat in front of us. See if we can see what that is. It's probably just going to be some sort of merchant ship. Switch to ground. Merchant ship. Yeah, there you go. So that's the sort of thing where you wouldn't actively go out and take it out. I think you would be awarded some points if you did, but I don't think it'd be many, and I don't think it'd be worth it. Right, okay, so we can see missile boat there on the horizon, so we'll go towards that. We'll take out with one of our Mavericks. Autopilot makes you fly at 1800 meters. That's a bit high. I prefer flying a bit lower. That's a bit of a downside of autopilot then, is that it likes to fly a bit too high, because you can see at the bottom, essentially this is our radar picture. We want that red line to be as small as possible, which means we're less detectable. And you can see that EGR bar essentially is flickering. That's when the radar's looking for us. And if that red bar meets our red bar, that means that they've detected us. So if we keep our signal nice and low, you'll be able to see if we turn on our side, our picture goes up. If we gain altitude, that red bar goes up. We want to keep that as low as possible. And we do that by flying as low as possible. Yeah, because if they detect us, then they'll start firing missiles at us. So if we can get through the mission without being detected, without being shot at, that would be brilliant. So this should come up on our target map, our target display at some point. If I look behind and then look ahead, sometimes that sort of kicks into life in terms of finding the target. Right, there we go. I've pressed N and it's designated the new target. That's fine. So Mavericks will be good against those. You can see with the white box. You know, if you were to say select Sidewinders brown, that means you can't shoot at it with that. Fuel air, potential, but the box is a bit smaller than Maverick, which shows that the Maverick's the best one to use here. Once it gets within 30 kilometers, we can take it out. 8 to open the missile bay, and fire. Open the missile bay. You can see on the radar picture, if we open the bay, that increases our detectability by quite a lot. So we keep that closed as much as possible. I think our target's back in this sort of direction. Let's check our map. Yep, okay, yeah, we want to be heading towards the little orange crosses. Look ahead with forward space. Look to the rear with the greater than button. Look to the right with the less than button, and look to the left with M. So those 4 sets of buttons, and then N and B sort of help you flick between targets. Right, you can see we've got 2 jet planes coming towards us. They're probably not too happy we've taken out that missile boat unprovoked, but there we go. We need to be a bit careful on time because this first target was time limited, wasn't it? So let's just try and take that out first, unless it looks like this aircraft on the map. The 2 red dots, they are coming towards us quite quickly, but we're 50 kilometers out from the headquarters. We'll keep going for this, and then we'll see about those aircraft, unless they start shooting at us first. Got the manual here, just remind myself about phase and how sort of high we want to be firing those from. Fay, toss at 500 feet. Oh, that's a Maverick. Let's try and do this with the Fay. Once it comes up with lock, we'll open the bay and then fire. And then climb. Target destroyed.
Primary target hit.
Now we'll head up to our next target. Those aircraft seem to have just flown on. They don't seem to be too fussed about me. Shift to the TAC map with F3. We can see not too distant future. Coming up is a SAM site. This aircraft's coming back our way, isn't it? But we'll keep on going towards our target actually at this point, because we're not far from it at all. Just remind myself what it was. Tank farm at Novitas. Okay, right. Right, SAM radar at Novitas. We'll take that out, and then we'll find our tank farm as well. They're my greatest threat, really, are SAM sites. Close the bay. We'll find a new target with B. We'll look ahead as well. B. Tank farm. There we go. Once we lock, fire. So I've still got 4 Sidewinders, 1 Fae, 1 Maverick. Let's see if we can take out a SAM site with a Fae. Hopefully that destroys in a second. Great.
Target hit.
New target with N. I want it to, I'm pressing N to try and get a new target. I want it to detect the SAM site. Why won't it do that? It's obsessed with me trying to take out this town. SAM radar, right, okay. Eventually got it. Right, it doesn't think this is going to be very good against this target. We'll give it a go anyway, just to try it out. You got the lock, you fire. You got it, so okay. So the Fae did the job. Switch these air targets. All these 4 planes are coming after me. Let's see if we can take them all out. Switch to our Sidewinders with space. There we go. Right. MiG-29 Falcon coming. We'll see if we can just wipe all these guys out. I'll fire this one, try and find the next target, fire the next one, so forth. Oh, the Sidewinder tried to go for the previous target, even though... Oh, keyboard sensitivity. You try to lock onto the next target, and it maintains the lock on the first target you'd shot at. You'd expect it to have switched to the new one, but it doesn't, so that's a bit of a problem. So we've wasted a Sidewinder there, but never mind. And you can't refire them off in quick succession. We have to destroy this one. Then once this one's been taken out, then we can move to shooting at the new target. I've actually taken out 2 with 1 Sidewinder there. Interesting. Anyway, okay. Right, we'll head back to... Yeah. We'll head back to USS America, and we'll try and see if we can nail this landing. And, yeah, the one I didn't see, and it was so rushed that I wasn't even approaching at the right angle. I had no fuel left. Tried to eject, and it did not work. Let's see if there's anything else we can take out with this one remaining Maverick. Can't really see anything. Oh, I'm looking for air targets, that's why. Go on then, let's take out this town just because we can. Poor innocent folk. We'll see how many points we get given for that. It'll be an interesting exercise. We've got 1 Sidewinder left, and there's 1 plane with its name on it. But he's flying away the opposite direction. I'm not going to waste our time too much going for that. Okay, ineffective hit. That's fine. Those people live to survive another day, which is fine. We just need to shift the map down a little bit. If we sort of reset the map by going F3 and then pressing F3 again, there we go. I mean, we could have saved that that Maverick for the missile boat that's upcoming, rather than trying to shoot at a town. But it was interesting trying it anyway. Right, we've got plenty of fuel left this time, so I'm not going to worry about that. When you get a bit lower, it starts getting a little bit unstable. So keep it a little bit higher than that. Right, well, let's accelerate time because we are still quite far off. Well, no one's shot at us. That's pretty good. I think when you change, I think Cuba tends to be quite easy in terms of them not shooting you too much. If I remember rightly, when you go to other areas of operation, they can be a bit more feisty. Heading in this sort of direction. But yeah, what we want to do, landing at aircraft carriers is kind of the right, we're being tracked. It's kind of what I was most worried about in terms of obviously the landing space is much smaller than landing at a runway, but the benefit of landing on an aircraft carrier is that it's got these arrestor cables. So as long as you approach it from the right direction and you land, the hooks on the aircraft will hook onto those arrestor cables, and the plane should come to pretty much an immediate stop. That's the theory. As long as we hit those cables and as long as we come in not too fast, we should be fine. We've been tracked, but we're far enough away that it's not going to be a problem. Switch to our tactical map. There we go. There's USS America. 50 kilometers out. So what we'll do is, in preparation for that, we'll try and get nicely lined up, nice and straight with the landing area. We'll drop the thrust down a little bit. This will start coming up really quickly on us if we don't start preparing for it now. As we come in, we'll open the gears with landing gear with 6. We'll put on our flaps with 9 and drop the thrust down to 0 as we come into land. So it's all quite a lot to remember to do in quite a short space of time. So we want to get our speed right down, but not to the point where we stall. We still need to come round a little bit. If we start to stall, then we add on a bit more thrust. Still need to line up. Wait till you see on the right camera, we're able to see when we're nice and straight on it. There we go. Right, okay, we're quite high. Drop our thrust down to 50. Right, see if we can drop it down to 40. If we start stalling, then I'll add it back up to 50 again. I think this looks okay. No, definitely losing too much speed there.
Cleared to land.
Open up the gears. Well, we're still losing speed. Pop the flaps on.
Nice landing.
Was it? That didn't look good to me. I missed the arrestor cables, that's for sure. I mean, it looked to me like we went off the edge there, but it seems to think that was a good landing. I'll take it. Second Lieutenant Ben Norton. Performance rating 287, 3 enemy aircraft, shot down 5 enemy ground stations. Right, that was not the way to land on it, but we seem to have survived. Check out the headquarters, wasn't it, with the Faye? That was great. Maverick took out the SAM radar, and that's right. So we did 2 Mavericks and only took out 1 SAM radar. So we used the Faye to take out the other SAM radar. 2 Sidewinders released. We took down 1 Fulcrum. That's right, because we thought we'd locked on the new target, but it followed the old target anyway. So you need to remember we can't do that in quick succession. Sidewinder took down a Fulcrum and a Flogger. So 1 Sidewinder managed to take down 2 aircraft. The Maverick missed the town, but that's okay. Thanks for the briefing. Yeah, and as you go, you earn these various medals for doing various stuff, and also promotions as well. But yeah, cheers for watching. Yeah, we tried to land successfully at an aircraft carrier, and we sort of did it. It looked a bit dodgy to me, so I'll definitely be wanting to try and do that again and try and nail that on. I think I'll look back at the video and see where we went wrong with that landing, but yeah, job done, I guess. Right, cheers for watching, and yeah, catch you next time.